Welcome to today's news recap. We're covering breaking developments from Washington to Panama, plus new details on the tragic aviation disaster near Washington, D.C. Stay tuned as we break it all down for you. Let's dive in. We start with a developing story in Washington, where two senior USAID officials have been placed on leave for refusing to share classified information with members of the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, who lacked security clearance. This comes as Matt Hobson, USAID's chief of staff, has resigned amid personnel disputes surrounding DOGE's growing authority. Meanwhile, concerns are rising over the agency's reported access to federal payment systems. Oregon Senator Ron Wyden has warned about a potential oversight crisis as the department's influence expands without clear accountability. We'll keep an eye on how this unfolds. Next, tensions are rising between the U.S. and Panama. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has issued a strong warning to Panamanian President José Raúl Mulino: reduce Chinese influence over the Panama Canal, or face potential U.S. action. Rubio claims that China's presence violates a treaty regarding the canal's control, a stance backed by President Donald Trump. However, President Mulino remains firm, stating that Panama will not negotiate on canal ownership. Amidst protests, some analysts suggest a compromise may be in the works, specifically regarding operations controlled by Hutchison Ports, a Hong Kong-based company. Will the canal become a battleground for geopolitical power? We'll keep you posted. Now to a tragic story that has gripped the nation. The U.S. Army has released the name of the third soldier killed in the devastating mid-air collision between a Black Hawk helicopter and an American Airlines passenger jet near Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. Captain Rebecca Lobach, an Army aviation officer and advocate for sexual assault victims, was among the 67 lives lost in the disaster. Investigators are analyzing black box data, revealing the American Airlines CRJ-700 was at an altitude of 325 feet, while the Army helicopter should not have exceeded 200 feet. This discrepancy is now central to the investigation. With air traffic control audio confirming the pilot was warned 2 minutes before impact, the big question remains: what caused this fatal miscalculation? Recovery teams are working to retrieve wreckage and identify all victims. In political news, sources reveal that the Justice Department is discussing the possibility of dropping its corruption case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Federal prosecutors are still weighing their options, but Adams, who is set to go to trial in April 2025, continues to deny any wrongdoing. The case involves allegations of luxury travel gifts in exchange for fast-tracking the Turkish consulate's approval. President Trump, who has been vocal in his support, even attended Adams' inauguration, calling the case unfair. With discussions of a possible plea deal circulating, could Adams walk away from this scandal unscathed? We'll keep you updated. Finally, President Donald Trump's latest tariffs on imports from Canada, Mexico, and China have sparked immediate retaliation. Canada has hit back with a 25% tariff on $155 billion CAD worth of U.S. goods, while Mexico is also imposing new trade restrictions. Both nations argue the U.S. tariffs will drive up prices for American consumers. Meanwhile, China is challenging Trump's move at the World Trade Organization, calling it a serious violation of international trade rules. And this may just be the beginning. Trump is now threatening further tariffs on the EU and key industries like steel, energy, and pharmaceuticals. Economists warn these moves could strain global markets and worsen inflation. One Yale study estimates American households may lose an average of $1,570 annually due to rising costs. How will this trade war impact everyday Americans? Stay tuned for updates. That's all for today's news recap. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on the stories that matter most.